Hi everyone and welcome to week 5. In week 5, you're going to have a discussion board on foreign direct investments, economies in transition, and you have your final paper that we're going to go over. For this week, you want to read chapters 17 through 20. That's going to be focusing on the role of international trade in our economy. I have some recommended websites that you can use for your resources for both the discussion and the paper. In the discussion, we're looking at foreign direct investment. And this is investment that's coming into an economy from outside firms. And this is very important because countries like to have this amount of money coming in from outside countries because it creates a lot of opportunities. So imagine that you're in charge of development for a developing country and you were approached by a multinational corporation interested in locating your country. What are some benefits to having them in the country? And what are some costs associated with having them in the country? You're going to discuss this with your classmates and figure out what type of investment would be appropriate for your economy. Make sure in your initial post that you have an APA formatted in-text citation and reference and 2 peer responses as well. Now, in the economies in transition, we're going to look at an economy that's moving from a market-based system where it looks at prices, competition, profits, private ownership, which are features of capitalism, and discuss an economy that is moving from socialism to capitalism. Now, there's a big challenge that an economy will be facing when we're in a socialist society. And the role of the entrepreneur is much different than it is in terms of capitalism. So make sure to focus on that. Now, with your final paper, you have a couple different things that you're keying in on. The focus of the final paper is looking at an economy that's moving out of a recession. And the federal government would like to engage in expansionary policies. So with fiscal policies, you want to look at taxes and government spending. With monetary policies, you want to look at money supply and interest rates. And you want to focus on these fiscal and monetary policies and how it influences each stakeholder in the economy. Or you could say consumers, businesses, government, and the international sector. But what I'd like you to do is make sure to have good subheadings in your paper because this will make your paper much more effective. In your paper, make sure to have APA formatting, which requires a reference page, a title page, a running header, an in-text citation, and make sure that you're focusing on all of these guidelines right here. If you click right here, it will take you to the grading rubric. And here's what I'm grading on each of your points of your paper. So I'm looking at your organization, your thesis, your introduction, and your conclusion. I'm looking at how did you explain expansionary fiscal policies and monetary policies? Did you explain all of them? In this example, I'm looking at how did you understand the changes in money supply, interest rates, and how that influences aggregate demand, GDP, and employment. Here I'm looking at your explanation of issues. What is your critical thinking in those areas? The next thing is looking at connects to experience. Are you able to connect how changes in interest rates influences your decisions? Then I'm looking at any grammar errors or spelling errors that you might have, your APA formatting. Do you have the correct number of pages, and are your in-text citations and references correct as well? So if you need any questions, if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to review any of your work, just send me your paper in early, as I look forward to your effort on the paper. But make sure to note, if you submit your paper late, it'll be subject to the late policy that's posted on the announcement. But I appreciate your effort in the course and wish you the best.